a sign. Will everything be alright? I need a sign, cause I don't wanna waste my time. Sometimes I don't wanna wake up, I feel tired in my bed, wanna lay up, watch TV and step out fake love. Let the drama unfold with my brain numb. Yeah, I'm still digesting everything that's going on, second guessing if this world is a place worth saving. I feel lost in this world as of lately. Give me a sign, will everything be alright? I need a sign, cause I don't wanna waste my time. I wish I knew if all of my dreams would come true. I wanna be free, I gotta find a way to believe. All I know is that if I give up then it's over, but if I keep going every day's a bit closer. Highs and the lows, feels like a roller coaster, it's never over. I gotta find a way to get inspired in this life. Stop looking out and start looking inside. Find what I love and take a little pride. Anything is better than complaining about life. I don't need help, I could do it by myself. No pain, no gain, I will go through hell. Do what it takes, I will break out of my shell. I'm never coming back, once I'm gone, I'm out. Yeah, got me like, ooh, watch me on the screen, you gon' see me making moves. You gon' see me scheme like I got something to prove. Working like a fiend, yeah, I do just what I do. Got a purpose, got a view, turn my vision into truth. My dreams are becoming lucid. The more I work improving, the more I fight, keep moving. I am not losing, pride keeps me refueling. I will be better real soon, yeah. Real soon, yeah. Give me a sign, will everything be alright? I need a sign, cause I don't wanna waste my time. I wish I knew if all of my dreams would come true. I wanna be free, I gotta find a way to believe. You gotta believe, I will make it happen one day. You gon' see my face and my name. Came to this place to be great. Okay, I will make it happen one day. You gon' see my face and my name. Came to this place to be great. Okay.
I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss. See, I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Stroke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact. Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in
Hello and welcome to my Mind Over Your Matter. My name is Rick, and we got to get this show started because it's been a busy night. Are we ready for round 4? Is this going to be a very hectic day? I believe so. I believe everything happens for a reason. Everything's already premeditated to happen. They know what's going to happen. I believe the ones on the top of the pyramid are controlling the narrative. And is Gavin Newsom going to be are they going to jail him? Are they going to put him in jail? Are they going to remove Gavin Newsom as governor of California? Is Karen Miss Karen Karen she's crazy. Karen Bass, like she's so crazy, and the way she talks and the way she gaslights the public, it's insane, and the people just feed into it. So Karen Bass, I tell you right now, your days are numbered. Gavin Newsom, your days are very numbered. I'm surprised that you are still in office right now. You should have been taken out from the Palisades fires, from the wildfires, but they let you stay on the force and let you continue pretend that you're governor, that you're not governing anything but yourself. And let's go to the facts, right? Let's check out some videos, and hopefully I'll go live on and see what's going on in LA, but we got to catch up with the news. I'm not feeling really good. I'm hurting a lot today. The weather is not favorable for me. It's really cloudy. It's been rainy, and I'm just not feeling good. I didn't go to physical therapy today. I couldn't go. I just didn't feel good at all. The energy, everything just wiped me out, and it's okay. It'll be fine. I do have another appointment this week, so I'll make up this appointment that I missed today, and I'll make it up another day. But I was so tired when I woke up. I was like, I went back to sleep, and it's like waking up to a nightmare, and now I got to report the nightmare. I know, right, phone? I thought I put you on silence, but apparently you don't like to respond when I put you in fucking silence. Are you kidding me, man? There you go. I always put my devices on silence. It always finds a way to participate in the show. It's like, how about me? That's like, you're not part of the show. Oh, but I want to be. I'm like, oh Lord, you know what? You made yourself present. Congratulations. So let's go to the first story. And crazy Maxine Waters. She's one crazy chick. This is a short one, but I do have a couple of ones to watch. This is Maxine Waters gets denied entry into Los Angeles detention center amongst ICE, the anti-ICE protests that's going on in Los Angeles. So let's take a look at Denied Maxine Waters.
Congresswoman Waters, I just came to use my congressional authority.
Ma'am, our lobby is secure right now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public affairs office.
I need to get in.
Ooh, she tried to hold that door and she said, I gotta get in. I gotta get in. Let's go back a little bit and let's take a look at that. The gentleman was not up for her bullshit today. He's probably working crazy amount of hours. He's probably on his overtime hours right now. And you got this crazy Maxine Waters wants to step up to the ICE detention and barge her way in because I'm Maxine Waters. I'm a representative. Please let me in. Well, I don't have to say please because you don't let me in because I'm here to inspect what's going on. Like, bitch, denied. Denied. Here we go. Watch the denial.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
She grabbed the door. Look.
I need to get in.
I need to get in. Like she needs to go take a shit. And she walks away. Look at her face.
What are you hoping to do?
Look at her face. Now we're gonna continue this video right here, and we're gonna go on to the next one where they interview her, and she has the goals and the nerves to be here. You know, this all proves to me right here by this person standing right here. Look at her agent back here. This is her bodyguard back here. This right here says a million words to me. Why is she here and she's not at Washington? It is Monday. Okay, it's June 9th, Monday. She should not be out in California with all this craziness. She should be talking to those in power in Washington to get this resolved. But no, you're gonna hear her, and you're gonna hear her instigate what's going on. You can't make this shit up.
Well, there were some of the authorities, I don't know who they were, and I'm trying to get in to see David Workton, who they have arrested. He is the head of SEIU
What's up?
union here. I don't know why he was targeted. I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know whether they're going to deport him. I want to report back
Big
to my
things happened
office
yesterday.
about what's happening, but they have not allowed me to get in.
Congresswoman, you're seeing what's happening out front here.
We have guns, and I'm afraid
We're
that the guns
gonna recap of what
will
happened.
end up being used. I don't know why. We have guns. What are those guns for? Are they to shoot protesters? I mean, there's no reason to be here with the National Guard.
Hold on.
The President of the United States is
I'm gonna play this again, but she sounds so stupid. She's like, they have guns. They have guns. Dumb shit. They're the fucking military. Of course they're gonna have guns. Of course they're gonna carry their gear. They're not gonna go there and be like, no gear, and they're gonna be like, hold on. They're gonna. And this is the crazy. This is the creepy part, right? She's like, they have guns. Why do they need guns? Bitch, what do you think you need a gun for? To protect yourself. Hello? Like, it's water. Is the water in your brain? Is it like the plate? Like, is it like coming out of your ears or coming out of your ass? Like, you have shit from brains? I don't understand you, Maxine Waters. Why do they have guns? Let me see. They are military. They are there to protect and serve, and they've been activated by President Trump to carry out security. Who goes out without a gun if they're especially police? Like, how come the police have guns? Why you don't question that? Maxine Waters said you want to question everything. How do the police have guns? Why do they have guns? Bitch, is to protect and serve. Dummy. This bitch needs to be expelled. You gotta get these Democrats out. The Democrats right now is the poison in this country right now. And this is a pure example of what we're going through every fucking single day. It's a clown show with the Democrats. They're enticing. They're feeding fuel to the fire. They're deflecting. They're trying to pass blame. That's all Democrats do. They pass blame and pounce on the vulnerable. That's all they do every fucking single day. That's all. Every day. And pure example is Maxine Waters. Why is she there? What's her purpose? Why, you know, there's a lot of questions, right? Like, who's really behind the scenes controlling this narrative that's sparking up these riots and adding fuel to it? It's not the Republicans. It's not ICE. ICE is doing their job. If they're doing their job, like, why are you protesting? These are all illegals. There's so many illegals there that they could just pull up on them and just grab them all and take them. And it's going to happen. They're going to come in with massive amount of buses, and they're going to go after these people, and they're going to arrest them and book them. And trust me, it's not going to be nice, because you will go to a camp. You'll go to a detention center. You may go to a prison out of the United States to serve your time for the recklessness and all the craziness that you just did to the fucking city of the United States. It's a city within the United States. Los Angeles, the last time I checked, is part of the United States. And what's the end game? Okay, so let's go back to crazy Auntie Maxine Waters, because this bitch looks like a mop head. That wig is not good on her. I'm sorry. That wig, I feel bad for the wig. I'm like, wig, I truly feel bad for you that you got to listen to this bitch. I know she sounds crazy. I know she puts you on her head. It must be the worst feeling to be carried around with an empty brain. Like, that head is so empty that if she didn't have that wig, she will fly away. Okay? So let's continue and listen to this crazy bitch talk.
Who they have arrested. He is the head of SEIU local union here. I don't know why he was targeted. I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know whether they're going to deport him. I want to report back to my caucus about what's happening, but they have not allowed me to get in.
Congresswoman, you're seeing what's happening out front here.
We have guns, and I'm afraid that the
To answer
guns
your question,
will
Wu-Tang,
end up being used.
you know what? Let me
Wow.
set up my phone so I
What are
can
those
see the
guns
chat.
for?
Because it's
Are
hard
they
for me to
shoot
go back and
protesters?
forth. So let
I
me
mean,
just get
there's
my
no
phone set
reason
up.
to be here with the National Guard. The President of the United States is a cruel, dishonorable human being who would just assume they shoot somebody down. But I don't want that to happen. I do not want, I want the elected officials to do everything that we can to dissuade them from what they're doing. They've targeted our city. This is a sanctuary city, and Trump is after us. And so
You see
I want the
what she
people to
said?
hit the streets.
You
and
heard
to
what she said? This is a century. It's a sanctuary city. No, it's not. In the United States of America, it's United States, not several cities are divided because they want to house immigrants. No. To answer your question, Mootang, it is illegal. That's why they call them illegal aliens. It's not a civil offense. It's a crime, yes. To enter any country, even where you live in the Netherlands, if I was to just go there without a passport and without any identification or anything, I just walk in there, that is a crime. You know, I'm not vetted. I'm an alien that's coming into your country, and what is my purpose there? Okay, that's how you get vetted before going into a country. You have to declare yourself, especially on passports. The first thing they do, they give you a form in the airplane. They tell you fill out the form, and you got to write where you're going to be staying, who you staying with, the phone numbers, the address. It breaks down everything, and then you got to turn it into the flight attendant, and she grab the paperwork, and they give it to whoever's in control of the immigration of each country or whoever you're traveling to. That's has anybody ever traveled international? Like, do they know like the process? Because Maxine Waters seems like she does not know. And yes, if you enter this country illegally, especially through our borders, it's a crime. And it requires yeah, that you get your time in a court, but at the end of the day, they're going to order your deportation, and you will be kicked out of the country. It's crazy. Yes, it is a crime. Crime of coming into the country legally. Yes, it is. That's why they're enforcing the law, and that's why we're trying to get them out. Because if it wasn't a crime, why would ICE be going after these individuals? You know what I mean? It's not only because of them being illegal coming to the border. What the ICE agents are doing right now, this is just the beginning process. They're getting out the criminals, the individuals that came in that were released from prisons from around the world. Okay, these individuals are really, really, really bad individuals that were just let loose from the jail system, especially Colombia, Argentina, all the jail systems. They released all their inmates and they let them go into the United States. So we got all the criminals that were really high risk criminals living here in the United States. And yes, we have to go after those, get the criminals that they released, and make them go through the system and send them either back on a deportation or send them to jail, and they'll end up in El Salvador and to these camps um, prisons, and it's crazy, man. It really is. Um, Yeah, but that lady, she's crazy as fuck. I don't believe any Democrat that opens their mouth is like lies and more lies and more lies. That's all that comes out of their mouths. Is gaslighting, is deep fakes, is all these like they'll take you around the corner and they'll it's like, yeah, we're going on a trip. You want to go on a trip? Yeah, they'll just take you around the block and then and you're back at your house and you're like, wait a minute, what happened to the trip? I didn't say we were going anywhere. I said we were going on a trip. We could go a trip around the block, and that's your trip. It's insane how the Democrats and how they progress to where they're at today. Because my father is a Democrat, and I'm right now, and I'm sure 100% sure he's really reneging on being a Democrat. I'm sure 1,000% that he's it's not the same. The time frame what they're fighting for is not the same how it was back in the 80s, in the 70s, in the 60s. Democrats back then actually fought for the middle class, was actually there for the middle class, was there to help people, not to stomp and push people to the side and take advantage of the system, because that's what the Democrats have been doing for the past 2 decades, is taking advantage of the system, getting money to do certain projects that never develop, like the train system in California that's been worked on for so long and spent how many trillions of dollars. It's a train to nowhere. And why would you build a train system like that in California knowing that you get major earthquakes? Like, it doesn't, not only that, but the earth moves a lot in California. So to me, I don't think that was a really good idea to do a high speed train in California. No, I don't know. I gotta catch up on all these texts here because I'll be talking. But let's go back to Maxine Waters here and let her speak her piece, and then we'll go to the next story, which is Maxine Waters confronting I believe it's the National Guard, that she's tempting them to shoot her. She wants the National Guard to shoot her. Shoot me. That's what she says. But let's get through this report, and then we'll go to the next one. I got everything lined up for us, so we're good.
Show that we care. I want all of the elected officials out here. I want the crowds to grow and grow and grow. We learned a lot in the civil rights movement about how to use our voice that's guaranteed to us by the Constitution of the United States. And I'm hopeful that that will happen. And I'm hoping that we as elected officials...
Okay, I'm going to stop because I want to answer this question. Because Mutang's on fire. I like it. I love it. I love it, Mutang. Someone can enter legally and then become illegal. Hence my question. Yes. If you overstay your visa, because remember, when you stay in a country, like if I go to the Netherlands, because that's where you're at, right? I need to fill out paperwork. I need to fill out a visa to go and to your country. Now they're going to express to me how long you're going to be here. I could put 1 month. Okay. So they'll approve my visa for a visit for 1 month, right? Now I go to Netherlands and I'm like, yeah, I'm having a great time. I want to stay. I overstay my visa. And guess what? I become illegal because now I violated Netherlands law. I violated my visa, and they can come after me and detain me and throw me in jail for being overstayed on my visa. And a lot of the people here in this country, in the United States, are visas violations, and not only visa violations, but illegal, meaning they cross the border. About 20 million people cross through our borders, and we have to get them all out. All the people that came in, like they thought it was like the never ending story. They were going through the little pathway and try to get through, and they got through. And I mean, they came like running through the borders. None of them were vetted. All the children, where are the children? That's my biggest question. Where are the children? Because they're saying over what, 800,000 children Where is one of them? Give me a few of them. Shit, give me a dozen of children. Where are the children? Like, they can't be found. They're being trafficked. So this is very dangerous times right now. And Trump, what he's trying to do is he's trying to like stop it and stop it at the source. The source, the problem. California is a big sanctuary state. They're very big on protecting immigration because what they is they want all the people there so that way they can vet them there and they're illegal there, and then they could be able to vote there, and they gain more seat houses. They gain more federal funds because there's more people, so more people means more money at the end of the day. And this lady right here, she's the one of the biggest corrupted representatives in history, I believe. And she's gonna have her day, and she probably will be expelled, and she's gonna get in very big trouble for what she pulled off. I'm just starting the show. I haven't even got to the third video, and to continue to prove my point. So let's finish this one. It's only 3 minutes and 45 seconds out of. We already saw a minute and 26. So let me play this out, and then I'll keep on.
We use all of the power that we may have in order to make sure that people are just not mistreated and treated improperly.
Have you ever seen something like this before where Congress people are not being allowed in?
No, as a matter of fact, even in the recent problem that was in New Jersey, where they had a bit of a problem with who was supposed to be able to go and who was not. The mayor didn't have the authority, but the 3 members of Congress
I never
had
ignored
the
you, girl.
authority to go in and see what was going on at a detention center.
You mentioned guns. You mentioned.
I want the press to focus on the guns. I want the press to show the guns. So
you see the guns. That's what she's worried about, the guns.
What kind of a situation we're in.
Okay, I gotta stop this crazy bitch. She's worried about the guns and how come the soldiers have guns. That's her worry, right? How about if she was to turn her right shoulder and turn around and look at that pillar that says "fuck ICE"? That's right next to her. Right next to her. How come she don't go and show what's happening in LA with all the fires and all the protesters throwing rocks at agents? Trust me, I got evidence. I got proof. I come with receipts. Let's continue with this crazy bitch because I got another one of her, and we're gonna keep moving on because I got like a lot to go. And if I don't speed it up, this is gonna end up being like a 4 or 5 hour show, and I'm trying to consolidate it to about 2 hours.
Guns are being brought into our city. The National Guard being called in and standing watch at a detention center and looking at our protesters as if somehow they are violating the law. They are not. They are peaceful protesters outside. And I am afraid that one of those young people might get upset or might something go wrong and those guns will go off. A gun will go off. Those guns are not to be
Terry.
Frightening and intimidating our people and anybody in the city.
What's your message to the
I hope you're doing good, Terry,
My
man.
message to the White House is
It's
Trump.
crazy.
I wish I could tell you you should be ashamed, but you have no shame. You are a dishonorable, dirty, cruel, crooked human being. And you have tried to intimidate the city of LA. You don't like us. We are a sanctuary city. And if you had anything right in your head, you would call it off. But you're not going to call it off. I know what you
There's
want.
no sanctuary cities in the United States, dummy.
Able-
She's so stupid. I like she's playing the Democratic playbook. She is the biggest puppet, and I'm 100% sure she has like the biggest hand up her ass that's controlling her. Okay, look at your fucking right shoulder. Fuck ICE. Look at the chaos that's going on in your district because you are a Democrat. Okay, you're a representative of California. And look at the shit that your people are doing, but yet you want to blame it on Trump because Trump provided security and try to put some stability to protect the federal buildings and federal properties. And now it's escalating even to a point where they're going to have to call in the Marines to take over. And I'm guarantee you, we might see Gavin Newsom. We're going to see a lot of people who are going to be arrested and probably taken to jail, and probably going to be removed from government, because this is uncalled for. This is something that needs to be taken care of. California is it's like the biggest tumor in the United States right now. They are the cancer. They're the harvesters of illegals, of criminal networks. This right here, this lady right here is so corrupted and so crooked that I do not understand how she is not held accountable for what she says and does, because all she does is incite and cause chaos. And I'll prove my point.
To use the power of the presidency to show that you can do whatever you want to do. And so we don't want any martial law here. We don't need it. We don't need any guns here. And if I thought for 1 minute that you would change your mind, then I would say, please change your mind. But it's going to take the people in huge numbers telling you, you better change your mind because this is not going to work.
You're not going to work. First of all, you're not going to get the people to change no minds, no nothing. You are the problem, not the system. It's you. You are corrupted. You are corrupting the system. You're trying to push your narrative because what benefit is it for her, right? You got to think about it. All these people are constituents. These are future voters. These are people that are feeding into her system money that's going to her pockets. You know what I mean? If Trump stops that, where are they going to get the money from? Because they're not going to get it anymore from the federal government. Where are they going to get the money? They use the immigrants. They use these individuals to pay into the tax brackets, to the tax, and they use that money for their own pleasures and their own stuff. And it's so fucking sad of what's going on, man. It's so sad. So let's continue to this video right here. And this is Maxine Waters antagonizing and questioning the National Guard in LA. Listen to her and listen to what she says. It's so disgusting and so pitiful. I don't know if someone has to step up and put this bitch in check. Let me play it, and I'm gonna try to be quiet because I'm already hype, and it's really pissing me off. It's already pissing me off. Let's play this video, and you be the judge.
What are you going to do? You going to shoot some kid who's afraid of you and run? You going to shoot an elected official? If you shoot me, you better shoot straight. I don't know why you're in my city. You did. The governor was not contacted. This is Trump and his outrageous attempt to not only target our sanctuary city, but to frighten us and intimidate us. This is wrong, and I hope that none of you will use those guns to shoot anybody. There's no reason to shoot anybody. Don't allow them to make your service in a service where you're killing people. Don't do it. Defy them. Don't shoot those guns. For everything. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. She's telling them not to shoot. Okay, when did they shoot? When did the National Guard shoot at anybody? Okay, that's my first question. Why is she there saying shoot me and you got to shoot straight? How come they can't shoot gay? How come they can't shoot crooked? Huh? Now you discriminating because it's Pride Month, so now you being discriminating. Now they have to shoot straight. How about they don't want to shoot straight? How about they want to shoot gay at you? The tables could turn. Your wig, you can show your wig all you want. That wig wants to run. I'm telling you right now, that wig has so much information that wig wants to catch on fire. That's how horrible she is.
Are you going to shoot a protester because you don't like what they're saying? Why the gun?
You going to shoot a protester? You hear?
Why the guns have to be here?
Why the guns have to be here? Are you going to shoot a protester? What's that called? Antagonizing. The word of the day, antagonizer right here. She is feeding them. She's putting this word out so other people could hear it and build up this energy that is very uncalled for. This is the problem. The Democrats love to instigate. That this is an instigator. She is not a representative. She's a fucking puppet. And a bad one. And that wig, man, I would love to pull that wig right off her motherfucking head, because that wig is crying for me to go over there and pull it off her head. It's such a disgrace. She is such a disgrace. Trump needs to do something about this lady. I don't know if Congress could step up, or the Senate, and really, she needs to be censored. She needs to be expelled. To be honest with you, she needs to be kicked out of Washington, because does nothing but antagonize and spill negative hatred against all Americans, not just her constituents. It's all everybody. This lady is pure evil.
Sanctuary city, we know Trump doesn't like us. We know that he's going to try to use us as an example. He's going to try to goad us to
You're
the
so
martial law.
cunty today.
He even alluded to Civil War.
Man, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, man. I was like, ugh. Common sense. Can we make common sense great again, like Trump says? Because a lot of people don't have common sense. They just think out of their ass and not with their brain.
Crazy, unreliable leadership in this country now. The president is in charge. He's in charge of all of the independent agencies. He's got the MAGA crowd around him, and they are saying some of the most outrageous and ridiculous
And what she's doing,
and trying to frighten and intimidate. And so I'm not surprised at what they're saying. They're crazy.
bitch, you're crazy. Bitch, you don't own a mirror, and you're proving my point. You don't own a mirror. Look at your motherfucking mug. Look at your hair. When was the last time you looked in the mirror? When was the last time you took a moment and look at yourself in a mirror? Because the things that you're saying is it should be reflected right back at you, because everything that you're doing is what you're saying that others are doing. You're not seeing what you're doing. So I would like to buy Maxine Waters a fucking mirror.
Outrageous. And the people of America got to know what's happening. Trump hates us. He hates sanctuary cities. He's going to try and make an example out of us. No, I'm not surprised. This is not just about deportation. This is about how they're going to treat people of color in America, and this is how he's going to get to have martial law, because he wants to goad us into a fight. They have all the guns. We know they have all the guns. We got to let people know that we have a right to speak up. We're supposedly in a democracy and have a voice, but we've got to heighten that voice. We've got to improve that voice. We've got to get more people involved, and perhaps we can push back. Is someone that's in charge that can, an elected official has a right to go into...
Okay, she's talking to the National Guards, right? Let me go back a little bit. She's here, right, talking to the National Guards, but can we just pan over to the right? And what's scribbled on... I'm rolling a joint. I'm sorry, because like Moontine's saying, I'm very cunty today. It's very true. I am. I'm one big one. And I need a smoke because I haven't smoked yet. It's too early in the fucking day. And Maxine Waters is just really pissing me the fuck off, because she's not helping. She's just helping herself. That's all she's doing. She's not helping America. She's not helping diffuse the situation that's going on in LA. She's adding fuel to the fire. She doesn't want this to calm down. She wants to antagonize and put more fuel so people could do more harm to the structures, and not only that, but harm other people's lives and livelihoods. Like, people, it's Monday. People are working. People are trying to make for a living. And this one here doesn't really give a fuck, and she wants to come and stir the pot. Shoot me, bitch. What does it says right there on the right side? Death to America. Am I not reading this correct? It says death, and then it says fuck ICE, pigs. I see pigs there. They scribbled on the handicap, which I find that offensive to handicaps. Why is this defacing the handicap? So why are they going after the handicaps too? Because we could play this game too, Maxie Waters. You know, you want to play stupid? I'm gonna play stupider, bitch. Deaf to America. I think this is a problem. So let's continue listening to this little. I was gonna call her a cunt. I think she deserves a harsher word, but let's continue.
Still has a right to go to check out what's going on. Who can I speak to? You know, anybody? No?
They already told her who she could speak to. Look at her. 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 What a fucking clown. What a clown. What a stupid clown. Let's go to the next one. Are we gonna get off of this bitch? Let me make sure we're gonna get off of her, because I'm already tired of Maxine Waters. She's just a horrible representative of California, and she's not solving any problems. She's causing more problems. So let's go. Yeah, I think we're going to the Newsom, another Newscum, how Trump calls him. He's a very scummy guy, and yeah, this is not going to be good for Gavin Newsom. So let's see what's up here, and I'm gonna try to save my voice because I'm getting hyped and I'm gonna end up losing my voice. Oh, let me put up the volume. That will help.
Suggested his state should stop paying taxes to the federal government after an argument over the trans athlete debate. Bessent writing, quote, instead of committing criminal tax evasion, Governor Newsom should consider a tax plan for California that follows the Trump tax cuts model and reduces the onerous state tax burden to allow families to keep more of their hard-earned money. Political commentator Cameron Kinsey joins me now. Cameron, great to have you on the program. Should Newsom's threat to commit tax evasion in support of boys and girls sports really come as any surprise in light of his apparent acceptance this weekend over rioters breaking a whole host of laws right under his nose?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me on. And no, it comes as no shock. And Secretary Bessent is right to call this a threat to commit tax evasion, because this isn't Governor Newsom's money to withhold in the first place. This threat would ultimately leave hardworking taxpayers in California on the hook. But let's call this what it is. It's grandstanding. Newsom is using this moment to posture himself for national attention. There was actually a UC Berkeley poll recently that showed 54% of Californians believe Newsom is more focused on running for president than he is actually running his own state. But on top of that, he's not even consistent. He told Charlie Kirk in an interview that it was completely unfair for a biological male to be in a woman's locker room. So which is it, Governor? You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, that's where I'm confused, Cameron, because amid all this talk of Gavin Newsom pivoting to the center in preparation for this presidential run, how do you explain this latest stance on siding with biological males after all that hullabaloo following the Charlie Kirk interview where he said that exact thing was unfair? And now you have rioters this weekend taking over Los Angeles. And, you know, you think that if you wanted to pivot to the center, you'd be all for law and order, whereas Gavin Newsom right now seems like he's willing to allow this recklessness and this lawlessness to just take hold in his biggest city. It doesn't make sense, Cameron.
Exactly. This is a losing battle for Gavin Newsom, both fiscally and politically. Legally, this threat would trigger a major court fight for him, put California workers and payroll officials in serious jeopardy. But politically, he's picking the wrong side of an issue that most Americans actually agree upon, which is protecting women's spaces. I'm a former D1 athlete. I remember the discipline and the sacrifice that it took to compete at that level. And every female athlete deserves the chance to compete on a level playing field and to have their own secure locker room. And the fact that Newsom is willing to break federal law to push a radical gender agenda is not only reckless, it's incredibly dangerous, and he should absolutely be held accountable for it.
Speaking of athletes, there were a couple athletes fighting it out over this weekend. The feud between Riley Gaines and Simone Biles has taken a turn after Gaines resurfaced an old tweet from Simone Biles that says, that basically undermines the Olympians' stance on biological men competing in women's sports. Here's what Biles wrote in 2017. Good thing guys don't compete against girls, or he'd take all the gold medals. This, of course, after Biles called Gaines a truly sick bully after Gaines criticized Minnesota for allowing a trans male to win a girls' softball championship. Why do you think Biles,
she's a hypocrite?
I don't know, bent to the woke mob over this, over the
Money?
intervening 8 years?
Money?
Well, Simone Biles has never had to compete against biological males. She never lost a medal. She never lost a scholarship or a safe space because of this issue. So she assumes that it's not a problem, but it is. It's happening all across the country, like you noted. In Minnesota, a biological male just pitched a shutout to win a girls' softball state title. California, male athletes dominating girls' track and field. In Texas, a men's wrestler took home 2 girls' state championships. So thousands of young girls and women across the country are being pushed aside to make room for men and women's sports. And like you noted, back in 2017, she even joked that if guys competed against girls, they'd take home the medal. So she knew then what everybody knows now. It's that men have a biological advantage. But now in 2025, she's willing to ignore that to virtue signal. So either she's forgotten what she said or she decided that it's politically safer to fall in line. But either way, it's hypocritical, and Riley Gaines has every single right to point this out.
Yeah, it's certainly a curious choice in light of everything that Simone Biles did that was unbelievably spectacular in her field of gymnastics. It's sad to see this happen.
Girl. I don't care how much
of this weekend, but it did.
And how good she was in the Olympics. I really didn't like
Simone
Biles.
I'm Steve Ducey. I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart.
Another
Click here to
that they got
subscribe
their
to the
hand
Fox
up
News
their ass
YouTube page
with.
to catch our hottest interviews
So we're gonna
and
go
most
to the next
compelling
one.
analysis.
Let's go to the next story here. Seems like all of them are silent when I start.
This isn't about race. This isn't about politics. It's about order and putting safety first and putting the American people first. You have President Trump that's actually acting like a president. And then you have Gavin Newsom out there that's acting like a protester. We cannot have these riots. We cannot continue to have lawlessness. We can't have individuals that are ICE members that are being, whether they're throwing Molotov cocktails at them. I mean, this is a type of activity that deserves law enforcement to push and make sure that these protesters are behind bars. We're seeing a full-blown Democrat derangement syndrome today, because when you side with protesters over law and order, you're actually siding with individuals that are creating chaos. What about those small business owners? What about the individuals in LA that are getting harmed by these individuals? President Trump is well within his authority to not only put law enforcement there, but to put ICE there, to put our military there, to protect individuals in LA. I think it's appalling to see what's happening today. And Gavin Newsom is continuing to stand on the wrong side of history. And I'm seeing this in the entire Democrat Party.
That's what I said.
They're continuing to push for this derangement to allow for protesting, riots, loss of life, instead of protecting the American people. And I've said this, and I'm going to say this again. They're going to continue to lose elections until they put Americans first.
To that point, Sheriff Lamb, I think Mahek aptly points out the fact that it's one thing to protest. It's something else entirely to protest violently. You're setting fires and you're breaking things and you're putting people in harm's way. That's where I think a lot of people would say, I want to draw the line. And also, she made mention, and I think this is really important, she made mention of the fact that a lot of people are in danger. Not just the citizens of that city, but we're talking about the folks who are paid to be there to try to protect and serve those communities there, and also to affect national policy as it relates to ICE. Let me share this. This is from Tricia McLaughlin. She's talking about the danger ICE and others are in when they face violent protests like this, especially when the governor of the state of California is either unable, or unwilling to step in. Listen to this.
Our ICE officers are facing a 413% increase in assaults against them. And why is that? It's because of the demonization by politicians like AOC, like Governor Gavin Newsom, and like Mayor Bass, who are calling them like the Gestapo, like Nazis. It is wrong.
ICE officers facing a 413% increase in assaults against them. That is a stunning number. And there's no question about this, Mark. This is what happens when the rhetoric and the violence ramps up.
100%, Kevin. I talked about it with you the other night. This is what happens when people like Tim Walz, who ran for, vice president, and guys like Daniel Goldman and so many other elected officials on the left who have called them Gestapo and who have encouraged this kind of poor behavior. You can see over my shoulder the Constitution here in my office. I'm a firm believer in the Constitution.
I would
However,
love
the
to get a
First Amendment
Constitution
says you
and
have
put
the
it right
right to
here.
peaceably assemble to
Put it in my
redress your
back here.
grievances with your government. When you show up violently with masks on,
I think I'm
that
gonna
is
get
not what the
myself one.
founding fathers intended when they gave us the First Amendment. And furthermore, some of these actions, Kevin, they're lucky that nobody has had a loss of life yet, because they're using rocks to throw at agents. They're threatening not only serious physical injury, but death on those agents and other citizens. And these guys would be within their rights to use lethal force. So I'm glad that President Trump is bringing in the National Guard to quell this right away before somebody does get seriously injured or killed because of these violent actions encouraged by bad politicians.
Incredibly true, especially when I look at those pictures. I'm just struck again. I love Los Angeles. Having lived in the Southland, I love it. I think it's a beautiful city, and the people there deserve better than what they're getting right now out of their leadership. And about 30 seconds to go for you, Mahek. What, if anything, can we expect in terms of arrests and what happens after? If it's local, chances are nothing will happen, is my prediction. But if it's federal, we could be looking at a horse of a different color. What do you think?
Kevin, this has to be federal because locals aren't doing enough to protect their citizens. You have Gavin Newsom that's whining and calling ICE inflammatory and demonizing them as, again, this is deranged hypocrisy on his part. He should be controlling the narrative, controlling his streets, but he's not. So we need federal prosecutions. Pam Bondi in the Attorney General's office needs to step in immediately so we make a clear directive for the American people that you will be safe under President Trump, regardless of who your feckless governor is.
Sheriff Lamb, wrap us up here in about 15 seconds or so. Your final thoughts. In fact, we have new live pictures here that are coming into Fox News. Again, you can see the staging being set up right there. This is a circumstance that has to happen for the safety and security, not just, again, of those who are charged
And
with
they're protecting the
affecting
VA.
policy.
That's the VA.
The National Guard
That's the
troops
military
are also
hospital.
there to protect and serve the
They're
community,
protecting a
to
military
ensure
hospital,
that they are not
and Maxine Waters wants to
the
show up
victims
and act
of
like a
rampant
fucking fool.
violence. Sheriff Lamb.
Weakness arouses evil, and you have weak leaders like Newsom and Bass who are arousing the evil and creating worse riots. I am glad that President Trump is showing strength, bringing in the National Guard, and quelling this evil once and for all.
Sheriff Lamb and Mahek Cook, thank you both so much for your time today. And Sheriff, I'll have you on speed dial as the news breaks here. Thank you both so much. Appreciate that.
Hey, it's Will Kane.
We're going to the next story.
As local officials brace for a fourth day of anti-ICE protests, President Trump's travel ban also takes effect.
Coco McAvoy is live at Tom Bradley International Terminal at LAX, where a protest is actually planned during the morning rush hour. Coco.
Good morning. That's right. We are here at LAX, and as you mentioned, there will be a protest that starts at around 9 o'clock this morning.
Oh, now they're going to go to the airport.
In response to the Trump administration travel ban that goes into effect starting today. A number of organizations are banding together, and they'll be holding this protest with speakers as well. They're saying that they cannot stand for this a second time around. But take a look at this video so that you can see the countries that are impacted by this travel ban that starts today. 12 nationals of 12 mostly Muslim countries, including Afghanistan, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen, will be barred from entering the United States after the Trump administration executive order went into effect. 7 more countries, including Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela, face significant visa restrictions. President Donald Trump said the ban, which primarily targets countries in Africa and the Middle East, is necessary to preserve national security. But the number of speakers who will be at the protest today calling out the administration say the ban is, quote, rooted in exclusion, and they say it will spark hate and division. So again, this protest will be starting at 9 o'clock this morning here at LAX, and it will last until noon. And so officials from LAX are telling people to be prepared if you're coming to the airport this morning, that there could be delays because of that protest. So we'll have to wait to see what happens. I'll send it back to you.
That we will do. We'll check in with you later, Coco. Thank you so much. Governor Newsom plans to
I like
sue the
Coco's
Trump
name. I
administration
like
over
that
its
name,
deployment
Coco.
of the National Guard to stop
It's very
the
chocolate.
anti-ICE protests.
He revealed that to Alex Michelson, who sat down exclusively with the governor, who had some strong words for President Trump.
Governor Newsom, what is your main message to the people of California in this moment?
Well, that Donald Trump is reckless. He's immoral. He's taken the illegal and unconstitutional act of federalizing the National Guard, and he's putting lives at risk.
I mean, is it truly unconstitutional? I know it's been done before.
Well, I mean, in his own executive order, it directs the Department of Defense to collaborate with state governors. So by definition, it's illegal. There was no collaboration. There was no counsel, no consideration of the rules of engagement. It was a reckless act that has led to conditions that have been exacerbated, and it's putting people's lives at risk.
So before he continues talking like bullshit, yes, you could be bypassed. The governor can be bypassed, especially if you're not doing your motherfucking job and you're not providing the proper security for the authorities and also the public who voted you into office, you dumb piece of shit. You worry more about your fucking hair than you do about anybody that's on the motherfucking streets protesting. You have no control. This shows how weak you are. Your hair, I just want to fucking pull that hair out of your fucking head. You don't deserve that hair. Like, that hair looks more taken care of, and he's put more together on himself than he has ever done for California. This guy is a fucking gaslighter. He's a piece of shit. He wants to run for 2028 presidency. The only thing he's going to run is back to the basement where he belongs, fixing his fucking hair.
Can't he declare an insurrection and go forward with this?
Yeah, he potentially can, and there's latitude. But as it relates to the actual language in his executive order, there's a reason we're going to court tomorrow, and the reason we're confident that we will succeed. That said, he's pushing now out the boundaries, whether or not we're going to get into posse comitatus, and whether or not he's going to test the theories in that case to then require the state National Guard in a federalized posture to coordinate and collaborate with ICE enforcement, which certainly would not have a precedent in 100 plus years.
Do you think that's going to happen?
I think we're on the precipice of that being a real possibility. I have zero confidence. He's acting recklessly. He's acting unlawfully. He's putting people's lives at risk. And it's my job to clean up Donald Trump's mess.
Okay,
because he's
so
making it
why is he so concerned about Donald Trump that his city is fucking burning down and he's not worried about his fucking people in California? Why are you putting so much emphasis and so much energy into a person that's in Washington, D.C., that is running the country, that's running the world? He has bigger fish to fry, and you're just a little fucking tadpole in a big-ass ocean. Okay, Mr. Newsom? So is your job to police Trump? No. Your job is to take care of your people in your fucking state, you dumb motherfucker. You are so stupid. You know, do you watch TV? Do you? I could tell you own a mirror because your hair looks more straighter than your fucking lines in your forehead. Okay, like, get with the fucking program. Your city is under siege. There are riots. The police, the National Guard is there for a reason. Trump is trying to protect the federal buildings. Look what they did to the buildings. Look at the outside of the buildings. They're putting death to America. They're spray painting everything. They're breaking shit. What do you want, Gavin Newsom? What is your plan? What are you gonna do to calm the situation down? Oh, what? Put more fuel to the fire? That's your solution? To antagonize more? To rally up more people and get them to a point that they could be hurt or even put to death? Like, that's reckless. This gentleman right here that you see in front of your screen should be arrested and put into a fucking political prison. I say, yes, fix Alcatraz and put Gavin Newsom #1 inmate. And then number 2 will be Nancy Pelosi. Number 3, Maxine Waters. Number 4, Letitia James. Number 5, Fannie Willis. I mean, I got a whole list of people that we could send to Alcatraz, you know? So let's continue with this dumb shit that looks like a fucking broom that swept his hair. So let's see what he has to say.
The hour. You guys talked the other night, right?
Yes, we did.
What was that conversation like?
It was a very collaborative conversation. It was a very good conversation. And he didn't really want to engage on the issues of LA, which was the great irony of this. He wanted to talk about a myriad of other issues. There was no suggestion, none, period, full stop, about the National Guard. Quite the contrary. And by the way, I have a lot of experience with the National Guard. So do you here in LA.
Right.
We've been using the National Guard. I've directed the National Guard down here prior as it relates to issues during 2020 riots. And so we have no ideological opposition of utilizing the Guard, but there's zero necessity. There was no request of mutual aid. LAPD, the Sheriff's Office, no request.
Dummy, they didn't request it. You know who requested it was the federal agents at the detention centers, the freaking agents that are working at the VA. They're the soldiers, the ones that are behind the scenes that are actually fucking doing their job, are the ones that requested for security and help and backup. That's what happened. They didn't say, oh, Gavin Newsom, we have to wait for you until everything's all destroyed for you to ask for help. You know, you're the biggest problem in California. The biggest fucking problem, and you need to be removed. I'm sorry. You can no longer be governor. We know this is your last year as governor. I don't think you should finish out the year. I think this is more than enough to remove him from office. He needs to be removed. Him and Karen, that Karen Bass bullshit fucking ass. It's just Democrats really get on my nerves. They really do. Because they have no common sense. They don't think with their brains. They don't even have fucking brains. I don't even know what they have in there. It's probably mashed potato.
CHP, more than capable. We've got 175 CHP off today because of what Donald Trump did with the National Guard.
But we see some of the images in the streets today. We see cars burning. We see freeways being shut down. We see
unacceptable.
But it's clear that things aren't totally under control right now.
That's right, because he's created the conditions.
Yeah.
He's exacerbated the conditions. This is Donald Trump's. These are images that Donald Trump created.
You think he wants it politically?
Of course he wants it politically.
Why?
Because he wants to divide us. He wants to attack the rule of law. He wants to attack the democracy. He wants to attack the best of what makes this country. The fundamental reasons our founding fathers lived and died.
I need to smoke.
This fundamental notion of 3 independent branches he can't handle. He's already taken over. And Speaker Johnson's a joke. He's completely complicit. $2.5 trillion to your debt. Wrecking the economy. Take Elon Musk's comments on that, just not mine. I mean, it's been a disastrous presidency. And so, of course, we're here with another distraction that puts, in this case, people's lives at risk. And he's testing the boundaries of the Constitution in a way that one can clearly argue is a constitutional crisis.
So how do you negotiate with somebody who may want these images?
You can't negotiate with them. Come on, no one can negotiate with them. I mean, no one can
negotiate with him, right? Well, he has world leaders, so he's making deals all around the way. This guy, he's putting his hand out like, wait. No, let me speak, piece of shit. Just bring it back to me. That guy's an asshole. It's a fucking idiot. Saying that Trump... So what, you think Kamala would have done a better job? You think Kamala would have... All this would have, like... I don't guess. I know that... Dumb bitch, you guys wanted her in office. You wanted her because you knew that you were going to get away with everything that you've been doing for the past like decades, and you wanted to continue the free-for-all with illegal immigrants coming in and using up all the resources like a locust and eating, drinking and polluting and causing a ruckus. Fucking rents are going super high because there's no fucking space to live. So now they're putting the price really high because, you know, it's very scarce. Like finding a place to live these days is very hard. And it's because the immigrants are put into housing and they're taking advantage of it, of a government assistance that They're not paying any rent, but they are taking up all the space. They are taking up all the food. They're using all our power, electricity. It breaks down. You break it all down. It's not good for our society here. And the fact that this piece of shit that you see on your screen right here, Gavin Newsom, he look at his hand. Look how who in the right mind would put their hand out like that during an interview? Who? Have you ever seen Trump do anything like that? That he puts his hand out like that? That's just we're in very unique territory right now. I know I'm ranting, and I know I'm just getting this energy out. It's because it's very hyped. The energy is very high here, and it's not getting any better. And it's getting scary. It is getting scary, and yeah, like you said, Mutang, this dude is fucking crazy. And I add the fucking crazy because he is fucking crazy. He's delusional. And not only that, but he's deflecting, he's gaslighting, and he's all into that cheap fakes. He is the cheap fake. His hair is the cheap fake. All right, let's finish this and let's continue to the next story.
You can't work with him. You can only work for him, and I'll never work for him. And it's shameful, those that are, and that are complicit in this, and that are rolling over. And as I said, the founding fathers are rolling over in their graves right now watching this.
Do you, because the other night, he came out and said that when you guys spoke, he warned you that if you didn't get things under control, he was going to bring in troops.
Stone cold liar.
Wow.
Stone cold liar.
He had to repeat. Okay, when you have to repeat yourself like that, that draws red flags. Trump, one thing that he does not do is he does not lie. And second of all, I guarantee you that conversation was recorded. That conversation was played out in front of other people that were in the room. And now he's calling Trump a liar? Yeah, Gavin, go back to the mirror. Go back to the mirror. Look at yourself. You think you're a big boy because what? You have gorgeous hair. Your hair looks like shit, first of all. Like I said earlier, his hair, it matches his forehead lines. Like the wrinkles on his forehead matches just like the lies and the lines he has in his head. It's just despicable. He cares more about his beauty than he does about his people. So disturbing, very disturbing. Let's go to the next story here. We still got a bunch to go. Holy shit, this is going to be a long show. Today's going to be a long day. So hang on tight and just be patient today because it's going to be wild.
Protests over immigration enforcement are underway in Los Angeles. In fact, the National Guard troops and mounted police fired tear gas at protesters. And these were people gathered outside an ICE detention facility.
Remember,
now, there are reports of looting and several burning cars, as you just saw on your screen. LAPD declared the protest an unlawful assembly. The department says fireworks and cinder block pieces struck officers, and roughly 300 National Guard members are in the city. That's because President Donald Trump ordered the deployment of 2,000 troops. And this morning, we're learning Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has more than 500 active duty Marines on standby to intervene. California's governor and LA's mayor opposed the deployment order. They blame the Trump administration for escalating tensions.
And what we're seeing in Los Angeles is chaos that is provoked by the administration. When you raid Home Depot and workplaces, when you tear parents and children apart, and when you run armored caravans through our streets, you cause fear and you cause panic.
Now, at last check, 56 total arrests have been made.
That's not enough.
Overnight, police in riot gear facing off with anti-ICE protesters in downtown LA, now declared an unlawful assembly area. Multiple people arrested as tensions flared. The clashes escalating over the weekend after first erupting Friday following workplace raids by federal agents at multiple locations across LA. On Saturday, President Trump invoking a rarely used law to call up the National Guard, defying California's governor, who argued he would only inflame protesters who took over a major interstate Sunday, bringing traffic to a standstill. We're here on 101 right now. Protesters have shut down the freeway. You can see flashlights have been going off. Police are closing in. Protesters are running southbound. Let's go. Police dispersing the crowd with tear gas and rubber bullets. Police cars set on fire, and the LAPD chief saying officers were targeted overnight.
Tonight we had individuals out there shooting commercial-grade fireworks at our officers. That can kill you.
Protesters setting multiple Waymo self-driving cars on fire. The company pausing operations in downtown LA. Demonstrators voicing their anger over ICE's presence in the city.
We're not the problem. You know, immigrants aren't the problem, we're the solution.
What do you think about the National Guard being brought in?
I think that it's ridiculous because where was the National Guard on January 6th?
On Truth Social, the president calling the protesters troublemakers and insurrectionists.
We're going to have troops everywhere.
And adding overnight, bring in the troops. The LAPD chief asked about the National Guard, saying he would have thought local authorities could handle it, but
Looking at the violence tonight, I think we got to make a reassessment.
Border Czar Tom Homan telling our Jacob Sobroff the raids will continue in the coming days and that officials who stand in the way of law enforcement operations could be arrested.
Are you saying that about Mayor Bass and Governor Newsom? Are they at risk of being arrested?
I'll say it about anybody. You cross that line.
Governor Newsom firing back.
Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. They're trying to incite violence. They're trying to impose the kind of rhetoric that only makes the conditions worse, that quite literally put people's lives at risk.
As violent unrest in downtown Los Angeles spills into a fourth day, President Trump is defending his decision to deploy National Guard troops there against the wishes of California's governor.
We're going to have troops everywhere. We're not going to let this happen to our country. We're not going to let our country be torn apart.
The protests began in response to ongoing immigration raids, federal agents arresting about 150 migrants around L.A.
Military violence at their
Protests, which started peacefully, turned violent, with demonstrators burning cars and throwing bottles and chunks of concrete at police.
These kids on the car, the folks that are taking advantage of this, these aren't peaceful protesters, a lot of these folks.
California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom blaming President Trump for inflaming a tense situation. It's the first time a president has activated a state's National Guard force without a request from the state's governor since the civil rights era.
Donald Trump has created the conditions you see on your TV tonight. He's exacerbated the conditions.
In D.C., lawmakers divided.
My concern, of course, is that this inflames the situation and that he is hell-bent on inflaming the situations.
One of our core principles is maintaining peace through strength. We do that on foreign affairs and domestic affairs as well. I don't think that's heavy-handed.
Meanwhile, the administration is threatening to arrest any state and local officials who interfere with immigration enforcement.
Stand in the way of law and order, yeah, they will face charges.
A political standoff still simmering as the situation on the ground boils over. The president activated a total of 2,000 National Guard troops in California. About 300 are on the streets of Los Angeles right now. And Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said active duty Marines are ready to deploy to California if the White House deems it necessary. In Washington, Chris Pallone, NBC News.
You want to know my opinion on that? I tell you right now. Send the Marines, and instead of sending 500, send 1,000. Show the force and show that we're not playing, and this is the United States. This is not Mexico. This is not Venezuela. This is not El Salvador. This is not Colombia. Let's go through all this. You want to go? Let's play geography. You want to play geography? Because we could do it. It's my mind over your matter. This is the United States of America, and we have a constitution and we have laws here, and either you respect it or you don't. And the ones that don't, this is what happens: the chaos, the unlawfulness, the people are just getting out of hand. It's getting crazy. Like, look, I'll show you another video. Let me set it up real quick, and we'll. I'm trying to get faster with the setups. Okay, I'm just working my way back onto YouTube, so bear with me. But I'm getting faster. Got a motorcycle that crashed into the police. Did you see that? If you didn't see it, I'll play it again. He's riding right into the police. Does that look friendly? Now, we're lucky this person didn't have, let's say, explosives on them. Let's say if they were one of these bombers, like they have, like, you know, that they wear these vests and they have explosives and they're suicidal, you know, they want to cause chaos and damage, and this easily could have been a bomb hurling right at the police officers. This is nuts. I'll play for a little bit more so you can see what I'm talking about, because it happened so fast that it's like, let me slow it down. If I slow it down, it should last us longer, right? Yeah, if you go slow, it lasts longer. It's like, no, hurry up and get to the point, right? Yeah, I'm not talking about sexual stuff. No fluffy bumpings here. Here we go. What do you think was on this guy's mind to run into a mob of police officers? And I'm going to do it one last time. Was that brilliant? Was that smart? Oh man, I'm telling you, it's only gonna get worse. Before it gets better, it has to get worse. And they're playing poker with the president of the United States, and Trump has the best hand. He has the best hand, the hand that I want. Look at this shit. So that's peaceful. That is peaceful.
Wow. Sit here.
So peaceful, right? I mean, I wonder the comments. I haven't seen the comments yet, but that would look like a peaceful motorcycle ride that I just, you know, I was just having my hair out in the wind and I just wanted to run into a group of police officers. It was just, you know, a typical Sunday, flowing hair in the wind and, you know, riding my motorcycle. And I'm like, that's a fucking group of people there. They're shooting stuff. There are a lot of them. Let me just ride right into them. That's a good idea. Let me just ride into the police officer's hands. Are you fucking kidding me? You know the charges this guy's gonna, this person, because it looked female, but it could be a male these days with the transsexual stuff that's going on. It's like, you don't know who's who at this point. Like, the only way you're gonna know who's who is like, pull down your pants. Let me see. That's how it's gonna be in the future. They're gonna be like, pull down your pants, bitch. Let me see. You have to tell them it's not sexual. It's like showing your ID. Okay, pull down your pants and let me see if there's a junk or not. That's all. Pull down your pants. Pull down the pants. Like, it's crazy. It's a crazy world we're living in. Let's go to the next story here. Businesses vandalized during anti-ICE protests. Here we go.
Weekend led to widespread damage across multiple cities.
KTLA 5's Aaron Myers live now from downtown Los Angeles in front of a business that is now being cleaned up. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning to you both. We've been driving all throughout downtown. We've seen a heavy lawn
enforcement presence in parts of it with actual vehicles, patrol vehicles from all over. We saw Santa Monica, Simi Valley, Ventura County, as well as local law enforcement. As for the damage, we are seeing graffiti all over downtown as well, and several businesses were vandalized. One of the businesses that you can see here behind me working on fixing things up this morning is the Nike store on Broadway, and they are working on boarding up the front. And we do have some video we can show you when they were cleaning up earlier.
They don't want to tell you, but they ransacked Nike and stole all their merchandise. They're not going to tell you that in this report.
Now, they were sweeping up the glass earlier this morning after the Nike store was targeted by protesters, and the store is located on Broadway. Not
She
far
fucked
from
up. She was supposed to say, I'm sorry for stopping the story. She was supposed to say friendly protest. So this is a friendly, peaceful protest. YouTube, I don't want to get in trouble with you, but everything that I'm seeing is since the Democrats want to gaslight us and just push their narrative. Okay, so I'm gonna push a narrative too. This was very peaceful. This is the most peaceful I've ever seen in my life, and like I seen a lot of peace going on, but this is by far the a really good, straight, peaceful night. I don't understand why they're just showing me glass on the floor and not showing me the inside of the store and how they vandalized inside the store. Welcome to America, where they gaslight you and they give you nothing but bullshit, glass on the floor. That's what you get. A full story of vandalism, okay? The inside, can we see the inside? Before you show me the glass on the floor, show me what they did inside and the spray painting that they did inside the store, because I have a vision. I could put myself into that area. I could astral project and see what's going on, and I could see it's just being I was just waiting to exhale. Let's continue the story, and then we'll talk more about it. I'm so disappointed in the Democrats. I'm very disappointed on like the humanity side of it, because people got to work. People got to make a living. People don't have money to be taking days off because their establishment has been destroyed, or you don't know if you're going to have a job or not because of the protesters, and you have these politicians that are just like adding jet fuel to what's going on instead of defusing and de-escalating and using certain words to calm down. Let's since they want to use peaceful as the negative, so we're gonna use the negative to make it positive. Destroy everything and burn everything to the ground. They're still gonna do that anyways. They don't care which side. The peacefulness is so strong that they'll end up doing that. And they already did yesterday. They burned so many cars, and it's not gonna get better. It's just not. I'm ready for tonight. I'll be, after I'm done with this, which I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more videos. Holy shit. I got to get through this, and then I'm going to have an early dinner, because my early dinner is like 4 o'clock. I'll have dinner at 4 o'clock. They're like, bitch, that's lunch. I go, no, I can't eat late like that. I'm a fucking gremlin. If I eat at fucking midnight, you don't want to know me. You can't feed this gremlin past midnight. All right. Let me make it bigger. Don't feed me past, not even midnight. Don't feed me past 9 o'clock. It's not a good thing. Okay. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock is the latest. That's I have to stick to that time frame, because I have a lot of issues with my stomach and internally, and also with the cancer and all that stuff. It's a lot on me. I got a lot on my plate. I gotta listen to myself, listen to the doctors, and do what I have to do for myself. And having an early dinner is not bad. At night, I just drink more water to fill my stomach, so I don't feel hunger at night. But I eat a good meal between 4 and 5. So yeah, I hope I don't think I'm the only one that has this, but yeah, let's go back to the story. That was more crazier than my story, but yeah, I would like to see the damage. I would like to see the product, because I know they had a lot of product that they have on the floor. Did they bust into the back of rooms and got the sneakers? Because you can break in and go for the sneakers and raid the place. Did they take all the sneakers? These are questions that I'd be asking, like, as a true reporter, not this gaslighting, showing me glass on the floor bullshit, sweeping glass on the floor. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I want to see the inside of the fucking store.
6th Street, and employees are out here again this morning working on
It's
getting
all gone. Everything's gone.
up. We don't know if anyone got inside, but you can
Damn,
see shoes
everything
on the
is
floor.
gone.
And looters were also seen making their way
Looting.
into a T-Mobile last night.
Oh,
It's
look,
located near
T-Mobile's
3rd
being
and
raided.
Broadway. When police arrived, they had officers standing in front of the
Look,
building.
they stole those
and we are
phones.
hearing
Look,
other
they're
businesses
stealing everything.
near
They're
there
walking
were
in and they're
impacted
stealing.
as well. As for the protests, huge crowds were seen
This is
throughout the
peace- this
majority
is
of downtown yesterday, starting in the morning.
Nothing to see here.
By
It's
mid-afternoon, the LAPD said the city was on tactical alert as the crowd grew unruly. Police were seen patrolling the area in riot gear and on horseback, others pushing crowds back. Demonstrators were seen throwing concrete, rocks, bottles, even Molotov cocktails at law enforcement. Police responded with tear gas, rubber bullets, and flashbangs to disperse the escalating crowds. Later in the afternoon, Sky 5 was overhead as protesters made their way on the 101 freeway, blocking
Don't
both
use
the
the horses on
southbound
these
and
people. These
northbound
people
lanes.
don't deserve the
And
fucking
in the
horses.
evening, the freeway
I
was
feel bad
closed
for the
a
horses.
second
The
time as
horses could be doing
CHP
something
officers came
else.
under assault as people threw
Like
rocks,
playing in a
scooters,
field
fireworks,
or
and other
something.
objects from a bridge. Several Waymo vehicles were set on fire along with dumpsters on the streets of downtown. As for the businesses, we have seen many.
looks so
We know
peaceful.
at
This
least
looks so
one was
peaceful.
looted.
My
LAPD
goodness,
Chief Jim
this is
McDonald
peace.
said that the LAPD was overwhelmed
No
and
wonder
that the
Ukraine
protests included
and
regular
Russia, they
agitators
can't
who
have
show up
peace
to cause
talks.
trouble.
Because if
Last
this is
night, the Los
peace,
Angeles
that's
County
what they're
Sheriff's
trying to
Department sent
accomplish.
deputies to support the LAPD
They
and
want this
CHP, and around 9
because that's
p.m. an
peace.
unlawful assembly was declared for the entire downtown area.
peace. This is
Chief
peace.
McDonald spoke about what will happen if people don't remain peaceful.
When peaceful demonstrations
Oh,
devolve
Lord,
into acts of
stop this.
vandalism or violence, especially violence directed at
Oh,
innocent
no.
people, law enforcement
That dude was a
officers,
good
and
one.
others,
Good artist.
we must respond firmly. An act of violence, whether toward officers, demonstrators, or the public, will be met with swift and lawful action.
Don't talk like that, police. This is
And this
peaceful.
video shows the damage done to several of our
More peaceful
KTLA news
images.
vehicles and vans, graffiti all over the sides of them.
There you go,
We
look.
also have some broken windows. And once again, we are seeing graffiti damage
Very
all
peaceful.
over downtown as well. Now back here live, there will be a lot of cleanup for businesses all through the downtown area. We are hearing, though, there are more events scheduled for today, including a rally at noon. That is supposed to be
There should
taking
be
place
no
at Grand
event.
Park.
The
And of course,
events
officials
should be
are encouraging
suspended.
people to protest peacefully.
Point
Reporting
already
live here in
taken.
downtown, I'm Erin Myers. I'll send it back to you both in the studio.
No, point already taken. Let me throw it back to me. Point already been made for the past 3 days. We don't need to continue on and having these protest whatever events that's just causing more chaos and carnage. It does not make any sense to me. All this right now I'm seeing is just going to hurt the economy for California. It's going to hurt the Californian people that they're not going to be able to work. They're not going to be able. They're going to be pretty much homeless too, because they're not going to be able to pay the rents because they can't get a job. These protests, they keep letting these people do this. No, they need to stop it. Like, yes, you have a First Amendment, but if you're going to continue on the same bullshit for consecutive days, then no, you're running out of. You can't keep doing this, because it's every day is going to be more disruption, more craziness, more destruction. It's just not. It's not a smart thing to keep issuing these permits for these protesters to cause chaos. You're giving them a license to commit chaos. That's what it looks like. And tonight is going to be another night. It will be crazy. And let's see how far they're going to go. I say, yes, bring in the Marines and don't only make it 500, make it 1,000. Make it 1,000. And I'm pretty sure the Marines will have this under control. Yeah. And they will arrest. And those that get arrested, you're going to be shit out of luck. You're going to be in so much trouble that you're not going to be getting out of jail the same day that you got arrested. This is not Biden's administration. This is Trump's administration. You got another thing coming. You better hold on to your seats. This is going to get very interesting real fast. So let's go to the next one because it only gets better, right? I love peace, man. I really do. Look, I'm smoking this is the peace flower, right? The marijuana. I'm smoking the marijuana right now, and it's I need it. You can probably hear the difference in my voice. I truly need the marijuana. Wake and bake. But now this is early afternoon. Wake and bake. I woke up late, man. I was tired because the other night I was up really late. I did a long ass show, my first one of the year since coming back. Because remember, I took a year off. I'm a year older. All of us is a year older. It just makes it a little bit more wiser and more structure and more improvements. You should be improving yourself yearly. You should not be stagnant. You should not be going backwards. You should be moving forwards to as high as you can achieve. So let's go on to the next story. And let's watch some more peace, because the only peace I'm seeing, it's not peace. It's more like shit. And put those together, because that's what I feel like what's going on. This is a piece of shit, man. This is crazy.
That on your screen right now is a live aerial look from Skyfox over downtown Los Angeles, where there is still that heavy police presence right now, as folks are essentially dispersing. They have been told that they need to leave, as unlawful assembly has been declared by the LAPD and other law enforcement. However, some folks are still staying there and are refusing to leave, and as you see on your screen, even setting fire to more objects.
Oh, that's a peaceful fire.
Appears to be a trash fire that was set just now, moments ago. However, we know that several dumpsters were set on fire a bit earlier. Now, President Trump, as you heard, was speaking a lot about his conversations there with Gavin Newsom. And I do want to talk a little bit about that, because California's Democrat governor responded to President Trump, deploying National Guard members to LA, calling it a, quote, serious breach of state sovereignty. And hours after sending a letter requesting the president remove the Guard members, Governor Newsom took to social media, posting this on X. Let me pull this up for you right now and give you a look at his comments. Very brief once again, but he did say Trump's border czar is threatening to arrest me for speaking out. Come and get me, tough guy. I don't give a damn. It won't stop me from standing up for California. Moments later, we also heard from President Trump on Truth Social very early this morning. He said, quote, looking really bad in LA. Bring in the troops. Arrest the people in face masks now. Again, we do have this live image that we've been keeping a look at from Sky Fox, one of the few that are still up at this hour, because we are not going anywhere until we see how everything does play out here. It does appear the crowds have dispersed, but for the most part, you can see there is still a bit of activity. We're taking a look on your screen as they do zoom in. Looks like that is a heavy law enforcement presence, but I'm not quite clear if they're running towards somebody or if they're just walking in formation. But you can also see the flashing lights there in the distance as
very peaceful. A lot of peace. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do, Mutan. Blame. They blame. That's what the Democrats do. That's all they know how to do is pass blame. They never take accountability. That's why I always say I want my friend Tyson, he's a friend of mine. I want him to make a shirt. I could do it, but I want him to make a shirt that says taking accountability for greatness. MAGA. I want him to make that shirt. I think it would sell. Take accountability for greatness. Yeah, I'm gonna push him on it. I want him to make a shirt. Look what is this? Fuck ice. Like, this looks very peaceful. Look, they're very peaceful. Look, they even brought the drums. This is what peace is. This is what Ukraine and Russia talk. When they say peace, this is the peace. This is it. I'm witnessing peace. For the future viewers that watch this, way past my death, past my time, and you still happen to find my channel or watch history that happened, this was peaceful. This is what we call peace. This is what the definition of peace for the Democratic Party is. That was very peaceful. Okay, take that to the heart. Okay, let's go to the next story here. Breaking news: LA protesters that 5K reward for the ICE agent that I guess the one they attacked the ICE agents. They threw a brick and injured and broke Asian's wrist. I think they caught the suspect. We're gonna find out now.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox 249 on the East Coast and 1149 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here to bring you all of your top stories and live events from across the country and across the world. Of course, we do have this live look over Los Angeles as we are taking a look downtown. Skyfox has been flying overhead as some of those protesters who did turn a bit violent are still remaining in the area downtown, and that is why there is still that huge police presence. We're talking law enforcement agencies like the LA County Sheriff's Office, LAPD, the California National Guard is out there. About 300 members have arrived so far of the 2,000 that President Trump did activate. We also have California Highway Patrol. But again, an aerial look over the city as things for the most part now appear to be calming down. You can see the flashing lights there, so it looks like they are heading to some type of scene there. I do want to take you, though, out to this image that we do have coming in from the FBI there in LA. It kind of breaks down one person that they are looking for at this point in connection to all of this. Take a look. They said the FBI is seeking information about a man who assaulted a federal officer and caused damage to government property in LA this weekend. A reward of up to $50,000 is offered for information leading to his identification.
If I was there, I'll be looking for this motherfucker.
I want to take you to a closer look at some of those photos.
That's
Obviously, a little small there on the left-hand side of your screen, but these are those photos right there, made a little bit larger. Now, the FBI in Los Angeles putting out a release saying that they are seeking the public's assistance in identifying the individual responsible for assaulting a federal officer and damaging government property near Alondra Boulevard in the city of Paramount, California. They say on June 7th, that would be Saturday, at about 3:30 p.m. local time, the suspect threw rocks at law enforcement vehicles in Paramount, California, injuring a federal officer and damaging government vehicles as a result. Again, these photos there provided by the FBI, and they do say they are offering a $50,000 reward for any information about who that person is.
He looks
they
easy
also
to find.
said as
No one
all
really
this
knows
does
who he
progress
is. They
in the
see him,
coming
they're like,
days, they are
oh,
going to get even
that's
more
Juanito.
of this social media video,
Juanito,
the photos that are coming in, and they will disperse those and offer rewards for more information as they look to identify people who were involved in all of this.
He's wearing a
Again, a live look, as you can see that heavy police presence in downtown LA. They are in formation there, and we saw them opening up some of the roads that had been closed down as a result of the protests and eventual riots that took.
All right, it's already at the end anyways. So let's bring it back to me. They can find out who this guy is. All they got, they'll know all the cell phones that were in that area. Okay. This is where AI comes in to play. This is what AI is going to be very good at in the future. And this is a test. This is actually really a good test for the United States and how to capture, individuals in a very quick manner using AI. They know who's in that area. They know by the towers, the cell phone towers. Every tower that you're nearby, it gets the ping. So it's like a relay. So when you travel, your phone is traveling with you and traveling to different towers that have the signal. So it's constantly you're getting that signal. So that's why you always have cell phone everywhere, because that signal is radiating everywhere, but it goes to certain towers. So every mark, they'll know. They'll ping to that tower, to that area, and they could see and get a list of all the names that were there. Okay. And then they'll get all those names, they put into AI, and then they'll put the image of this person. And then what they'll do is they'll sweep Facebook, Instagram, any apps that has pictures or any hookup sites, any all that stuff. They'll go through every single one to tag down where this image matches the most. They'll get 100% comparison, and I guarantee you this individual has Facebook for sure, and his image is on there. They'll know who he is. They'll know his age. They'll know his location. And I'm 100% sure they can figure out his home address. All they got to do is get the information from your light company, your cell phone company, any credit cards, all that stuff. They could track you from there and figure out exactly where you're at, and they can arrest you. The future is going to be very bright. It's going to be very fast. A lot of things that AI could be capable of, this is a test that they could do to really push how AI will be able to find you. For anything that you do, they can find you at any moment, at anywhere. Even if you get rid of your cell phone and so forth, they'll already know your address. They already know your location. They'll know what you do, who you see, where you be, because they can ping all your past travels, because everyone has GPS on their phone. And GPS holds a history of your location at different locations. Let's say you go to let's go to a restaurant. Let's go to Red Lobster, or let's go to Olive Garden. Your cell phone, every place you take your cell phone, it gets pinged. And if you're sitting at that restaurant, I guarantee you, when you open your phone, they'll tell you, how is your meal? Did you enjoy your meal at Olive Garden? How did you know I was in Olive Garden? Oh, because they are always constantly tracking you. Remember those agreements that you agreed to be using your phone in all those apps? Well, they sell to third parties. So they will always know where you're at. If you have an iPhone, you're constantly being listened to. If you have even a Galaxy, or the Galaxy Note that I have, like my phones that I have here, they're constantly listening to me. You want me to prove it? Hey Google. Oh, my phone turned on. I wonder who's listening to me on the other side. Case proven. Open shut. AI could be very useful in the future for solving crimes and solving like this type of issues and so forth. And it could be used to track people. If you have a cell phone and you carry it with you everywhere, they're listening to you. They know everything that you do. If you mention, I want to go on a trip, I want to go to France, I guarantee you, when you open your phone and you open your Facebook, you're going to get advertisement for trips to France. They're always listening. Always. And the worst part about it is that us, the people, are paying for this. We pay our cell phone bills. We pay to have these devices. They come out with a new device every year to get you to get into the phone system, which is, to be honest, it's a tracking device. It's a monitoring device. They know if you are on your phone at all times. They know if you're on an app playing a game. They'll even know if you're masturbating. I'm just saying, they do. Be careful with your phone. Your phone is not your friend. Your phone is a device that is monitoring you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Be careful. Let's go to the next story. Don't you like me doing the reporting than the reporters themselves? I mean, I think I'm doing a good job. My brain feels a little bit better. Last couple of, like 2 years ago, I really had a foggy brain, to be honest with you. And you could tell in my shows and my speech and the way I was speaking and so forth. I really needed to take the time off. And I'm glad I did. I took a year off and really focused on myself. If you've been on my show, you know the reason why I took the year off. Most people don't know. I would say 99% of them. I collapsed on my show. I was feeling very not good, and I was with two other people at the time, and I fell down. I collapsed from my chair and I hit the ground, and you can hear it in the video. It was very disturbing. I concussed myself pretty hard, and I didn't only collapse once, but it happened twice. I was able to get up from the first one and sit on the chair and close out the show. And I did. I closed out the show. And right when I closed out the show, I got up. And when I got up, I collapsed again. And that time I hit my head on the table and I was on the ground. I don't know how long I was on the ground. For me, it felt like minutes, but it could have been a good amount of time. And yeah. And after that, I was in the same, and something told me to stop. I stopped cold turkey the show, and I took a whole more than a year to get back. And finally, that I feel a little bit more better. I'm not good at all. I'm fighting a lot of things. I'm like, listen, I grew up with Mike Tyson. Literally, not literally. My mom was like Mike Tyson. She was a super fucking bull. She was super tough, you know, and it wasn't easy because for me it was like a sister, you know, because my mom had me very young. All right, she had me at a very young age, and when I mean young, it's 15 years old. Young. Yes, my mother gave birth to me at the age of 15. And I have a very unique childhood life story that if you put into a book, many people will cry. Many people will be mad, and many people will be happy coming towards the end of the book. They'll get more happier. Because I turned my life so much around. And I've gone through a lot of battles, you know, and I continue to fight and continue to be here. I know my life is not going to be here forever. I'm not here forever. I'm only here for a limited time. And I know this. My death could be any moment, any time. Right now, this is extended time. I'm alive. I always said this, and I'll say it again. I am alive to witness something big. I'm alive to witness everything, and everything I witness, I take it to me to wherever I go next. And if I have to have a run-in with the baby Jesus, I'll have a conversation with him. I already said I'll probably slap him to wake up and stop sleeping behind the wheel, because society is not in a good state of mind. Case proven with these riots. But I'm not here forever. I will be dying. And I realize this, and I know this. And not a lot of people think about this. I do, because I know what I went through. And what you see here has been through a lot. And I'm just happy to still be alive and to continue to be witness of the events that takes place in front of me every single day. Yeah, it's something. I'm not gonna cry here. I'm gonna go to the next story because it's like I don't want people to cry. I want people to be happy. But what brings us happiness? Remember the peace, right? Peace brings us happiness. So let me bring you more peace and joyful moments, because these moments make me so fucking happy.
That's right. We're getting some new numbers in from the LAPD on how many people were arrested, dozens taken into custody overnight. And let me show you the scene here. We're right next to Olvera Street across from Union Station. What you're looking at were believed to be Jaguars, Waymos, the driverless cars, 5 of them burnt to the ground. Now, what we've learned is that they were called here to the area of the protest, all 5 of them, on Los Angeles Street between Arcadia and Alameda around 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And that's when a group apparently waiting for those cars, attacked them, slashing tires, smashing the windows, tagging them with graffiti, and then deciding to set them on fire. LA City firefighters letting the cars burn themselves out because of the release of toxic gases from the vehicle's lithium-ion batteries. And as Bob mentioned, this all started in Paramount on Saturday. That's when ICE agents moved in right next to a Home Depot. Now, originally it was reported that they were there to take the day laborers that they believed were undocumented into custody, but it turns out they may have been targeting a meatpacking plant that was right next to the Home Depot. Regardless of what the target was, that brought in dozens, then hundreds of protesters to the area where they faced off with ICE agents. And it is that action that is said to have spurred the White House to call in the National Guard. Yesterday, take a look, the protests focused on downtown Los Angeles, primarily the federal building and the federal holding prison where they are reportedly holding the people that they took into custody, those ICE agents. Things getting very, very tense. And this morning we're learning from the LAPD that a total of 42 people were arrested. 27 of them were taken into custody simply for failing to disperse when ordered. 10 were arrested for assault with a deadly weapon on a police officer, including one suspect who police say crashed his motorcycle into a police officer.
Yeah, we
3
saw that.
were then arrested for looting, 2 for arson, and 1 for attempted murder involving a Molotov cocktail. Now, coming up later on Good Day LA, we're going to show you more of the damage because many businesses have also been looted, and the businesses that weren't looted or had their glass windows broken out have been tagged. There is graffiti all over it. We can't show it to you. Words not suitable for television this morning. If you can...
Crazy. Let's go to the next story. Give me 1 second. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. I'm so disappointed. It makes you go through mood swings. I'm going through mood swings right now. I'm going through I'm going from happiness to sadness to happiness to weirdness, and I'm witnessing this as you are. This is wild, man. It's a wild time to be alive. I'm happy to be alive. I'm very happy. But man, this is just keeps getting better and better and better as the day goes on. I may go on to the live portions because I'm just going through the reportings of the news, and then maybe we'll go and we'll catch some live footage, and we'll maybe get some helicopter footage, and we'll get some dramatic footage, because I'm sure they're going ham tonight, and they're gonna dance with the devil tonight, and it is what it is. It's the rip. That's what it is. It's the rip. I hope you're having a good day, though. Oh, make it what you want it, but let's go to the next.
Trump administration over its deployment of the National Guard to stop the anti-ICE protests.
He revealed that to Alex Michelson, who sat down exclusively with the governor, who had some strong words for President Trump.
Governor Newsom, what is your main message to the people of California in this moment?
Oh, that Donald Trump is reckless. He's immoral. He's taken the illegal and unconstitutional act of federalizing the National Guard, and he's putting lives at risk.
I mean, is it truly unconstitutional? I know it's been done before.
Well, I mean, in his own executive order, it directs the Department of Defense to collaborate with state governors. So by definition, it's illegal. There was no collaboration. There was no counsel, no consideration of the rules of engagement. It was a reckless act that has led to conditions that have been exacerbated, and it's putting people's lives at risk.
So can he declare an insurrection and go forward with this?
Yeah, he potentially can, and there's latitude. But as it relates to the actual language in his executive order, there's a reason we're going to court tomorrow, and the reason we're confident that we will succeed. That said, he's pushing now out the boundaries, whether or not we're going to get into posse comitatus, and whether or not he's going to test the theories in that case to then require the state National Guard in a federalized posture to coordinate and collaborate with ICE enforcement, which certainly would not have a precedent in 100+ years.
You think that's going to happen?
I think we're on the precipice of that being a real possibility. I have zero confidence. He's acting recklessly. He's acting unlawfully. He's putting people's lives at risk. And it's my job to clean up Donald Trump's mess, because he's making it by the hour.
You guys talked the other night, right?
Yes, we do.
What was that conversation like?
It was a very collaborative conversation. It was a very good conversation. And he didn't really want to engage on the issues of LA, which was the great irony of this. He wanted to talk about a myriad of other issues. There was no suggestion, none, period, full stop, about the National Guard.
I want to hear the call.
Quite the contrary. And by the way, I have a lot of experience with the National Guard. So do you here in LA.
Right.
We've been using the
I gotta
National
stop this. I didn't want to stop it, but I have to stop it because it's just pissing me off, right? We know Trump. we let me make me big, because this guy looks like don't he look like a doofus? Like, look at his face. His face screams to me like he's not so much the doofus. The other one is by far the most. Think of anything really negative, dirty, like vile. That's what I think of Gavin Newsom. This guy is disappointed. Look at his face. His face says it all. His face says, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, and first of all, you don't think Trump is going to mention anything about this riots and the protesters? Are you fucking nuts? That's the first thing Trump's going to, and the last thing he's going to be talking about. You see the gaslighting? This is the gaslighting. This is the Biden shit. Gavin Newsom and the Biden era, this is over. This is the Trump era. And Trump is the president of every state. He's the one. He's the man. He's the one. Like how Biden was the one that was sleeping, Trump is the one that's awake. And he's fixing shit. He's trying to put shit together. But every time you try to fix something, you got to go into a messy area to clean it up, right? And there's a lot of mess in California and a lot of corrupted individuals, mafia individuals. There's really strong. I lived in California for a year. I come with receipts. California is fucking crazy. It's a fucking crazy place. I tip my hat to those who live there that are Republicans, because I couldn't live there. I was gonna move back to Florida anyways, but my mom got really sick, and she called me to come back to Florida, and I ended up packing all my shit and selling off my stuff, and I moved back to Florida, and I spent a year in California, and very, 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 very left California. And these people are so hypnotized and with this gaslighting is so unreal. It's sad. It really is. I feel for those people, but a lot of those people that are protesting and doing all this chaos, a lot of them are illegals. Some, I would say, there's a good majority that are illegal, that are just being caught up in the energy and just want to release this energy because they're young. They look like they're young, dumb, full of cum. I'm sorry. It's the fucking truth. I'm a psychic. I'm a medium. I'm an energy reader. All I see is young cocks that are loaded, and they don't have any other way to release their aggression, and they're taking it out on the authorities. It's the truth. It's the damn truth. And these young men could be gathered up, sent to a pretty much like a concentration camp. It'll be like a camp. They wouldn't call it. They'll call it a detention center. But you could vet these people and then force them to go into the military and put them in Ukraine to fight in Ukraine. Send them all to Ukraine. They need soldiers. Right? Ukraine is desperate for manpower. They want to win a war. They want. Okay, we'll make you a deal. You're gonna take all these people, all the protesters, all these people that we picked up and we drafted, and we're sending them, and they're now soldiers. We're sending them to you. Enjoy. Now go protest over there in Ukraine. Let's see how far you get. Let's see how far you get. Rick comes with so many solutions. I know. Let's continue this gaslighting Gavin Newsom. Look at his face. This reporter's face. I don't know his name, but this face tells it all, man. The expressions. Look, I always tell people, read the room, read the energy, read the facial expressions, look at the eyes, look at the nose, look at the mouth, look at the cheeks, look at the expressions, look at his where he's looking and how he's looking, look at the body, like how he's his stance. Like, this is tall telling. He is very, very disappointed in Gavin Newsom. He is just has to sit through this and knowing that he's sitting with someone that's very fucking corrupt. All right, let's continue this this massacre of a governor.
Guard. I've directed the National Guard down here prior as it relates to issues during 2020 riots, and so we have no ideological opposition of utilizing.
No,
the
this is a
Guard, but there's zero
different newscast,
necessity.
but it's the same story.
There was no request of mutual aid. LAPD, the sheriff's office, no request. CHP, more than capable. We've got 175 CHP off today because of what Donald Trump did with the National Guard.
But we see some of the images in the streets today. We see cars burning. We see freeways being shut down. We see
unacceptable.
But it's clear that things aren't totally under control right now.
That's right, because he's created the conditions.
Yeah.
He's exacerbated the conditions. This is Donald Trump's. These are images that Donald Trump created.
You think he wants it politically?
Of course he wants it politically.
Why?
Because he wants to divide us. He wants to attack the rule of law. He wants to attack the democracy. He wants to attack the best of what makes this country. The reasons our founding fathers lived and died. This fundamental notion of three independent branches. He can't handle. He's already taken over. Speaker Johnson's a joke. He's completely complicit. $2.5 trillion to your debt.
Donald Trump
wrecking the economy. Take Elon Musk's comments on that, just not mine. I mean, it's been a disastrous presidency. And so, of course, we're here with another distraction that puts, in this case, people's lives at risk. And he's testing the boundaries of the Constitution in a way that one can clearly argue is a constitutional crisis.
So how do you negotiate with somebody who may want these images?
You can't negotiate with them. Come on, no one can negotiate with him. I mean, no one can. I've gone out of great lengths to try to work with this guy. You can't work with him. It can only work for him, and I'll never work for him. And it's shameful, those that are, and that are complicit in this, and that are rolling over. And as I said, the founding fathers are rolling over in their graves right now watching this.
Do you?
Yeah, they're watching you. Yeah,
he came out and said that when you guys spoke, he warned you that if you didn't get things under control, he was going to bring in troops.
Stone cold liar.
Now he's calling Trump a liar.
Stone cold liar. He made that up, like he makes up so many other things. He never said that.
Look at his face. You saw his use his finger, like body language. Look at the body language. Look at his face. Look, this guy. He's putting all his chips in right now. This is a guy who's putting all his chips in. And let's see. Look at the finger. Look at the face. I always tell people, look, read. Let me teach you how to read people. It's so easy, right? You guys know because you're here. So thank you. Look at the face. Look at the frown in his forehead. Look at the wrinkles in his forehead. Look at the eyebrows. The togetherness frown that's like he's like really. Hold on. Let me make myself bigger and this video smaller. Okay. I gotta get this call. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to take that call. It's related to my throat cancer. So I have an appointment on July 11th, and they were trying to switch my appointments to different days. They were trying to give me different days. I was like, "This is the second time you're rescheduling my appointment. This is not a case that should be rescheduled like this." And they reviewed it, and the manager just called me. She's like, "I am so sorry. She was not supposed to call you." she's like, "Your appointment is still on the 11th. Yes, your appointment is very important. So yes, you're right. Like, disregard what she told you earlier." I go, "No, she was doing great," because I was getting mad and she kind of calmed me down. So I was like, okay, I was all right, because I'm already hyped with all this craziness that's going on. And Gavin Newsom with his finger pointing and the frown in his face, look, I can make it big and I'll make myself little. Look at the facial expression. Look at the lips. Look at the clutching of the jaw. Look at his jaw. Look at his cheek. Look at his neck, his eyes. Like, look at the determination, the evilness. This is not a positive guy. This is not a guy who wants peace. Like, you could tell in his wrinkles in his forehead. You could read this, man. Look at his hair. Who spends this much jail to make this hair look like this? That shit looks so fake. Like, the hair looks fake now. Like, I don't know what company he's using for the gel or whatever he's using, but man, look at that hair. Hold on. This is going to make me stand up and go to my computer to make this wider. Let me make it wider. Give me 1 second.
Like he makes that up.
Let me, I have to fix it here.
Pulling over. And as I said, founding.
Now, let me, I could do something like this. Look at that head. Look at his face. Look at the expression. Like, does this guy? Hold on. Let me see if I can make that. You see, I can't do it with my mouse. My computer's like. Eventually, I'm gonna have to replace it, but I'm not doing it now because I'm more worried about other things. Okay, I'm trying to make it. But okay, we can see it from here. Look at his eyes. Look at his lips. His ears are perked up. His jaw is back and up, like down, like he's reserved, but he's also not telling the truth. And he's trying to push the truth. He's trying to push the narrative. That's not a good thing right there. That's not good at all. That's horrible. Let me see. Let me exit here. This is a man he's a very like. I don't trust him. I don't trust the dude. Never will trust this individual. Trying to get this thing fixed how I had it. My computer started acting up, so it's not gonna work. Did I have it at 50? Sorry, at 50%. The centering is a little off, so let me see if I can restart it here.
To sue the Trump administration over its deployment of the National Guard to stop the anti-ICE protests.
Okay, so I gotta fix it on my computer because it's not. I gotta move it back this way, and for some reason, my mouse is not letting me move it, and my screen is going like a little crazy right now. So let me see if I can fix it. This is not gonna let me. It's not gonna let me. Kind of like fucked it up, but it's okay. Kind of like fucked it up. I'll try to fix it on this side, but at least I got this. Okay, there we go. Not understanding what's going on here because I'm moving it with my mouse. So, all right, I'm not sure what's going on there. There we go. Reset. All right, let's go to the next story. Let's go ahead and get off of that. Sorry about the technical difficulties. It's just Gavin Newsom fucks everything up. Okay, I blame Gavin. Since he wants to blame Trump, he wants to blame Trump for everything. Well, I'm going to blame Gavin Newsom for that little moment of fuck up. I think his wrinkles and his like slick back hairdo, like he gives me very creepy vibes. He reminds me of the Joker, like how the Joker combs his hair back. All you got to do is put paint and slap on some pig makeup, and there you go. You got the fucking Joker. And he has his cast members too, you know, Maxine Waters. He got that Karen Basque. Like, oh, so disgusting. Let's go ahead and jump here and see what's up. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get this fixed. All right, there we go. Let me start it up. if it lets me.
Most people estimate that over the next 10 years, the United States will add about $2 trillion a year, $20 trillion in debt. The savings, if you don't think the taxes or the tax cuts will cause a reduction in revenue, which I can accept that, and you say, well, the spending cuts are $1.5 trillion. That means instead of borrowing $20 trillion, we'd borrow $18.5 trillion. So the spending cuts are not nearly enough. The example of the explosion of debt is awful and not to be commended. We should be giving them very limited tranches of debt expansion and make them prove to us that they are good with money. But by no means should we give them $5 trillion and say, oh, just keep doing what you're doing. They have a terrible record, so they need more restraint and more oversight, not less.
That was Senator Rand Paul telling Maria on Sunday Morning Futures he remains opposed to the big, beautiful bill, but may consider Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson's plan of a two-step process. House Ways and Means Committee Chair Jason Smith also on SMF. Here's what he says would happen if that became a reality.
Ron Johnson from Wisconsin also was with us last week and over the weekend with me again. And he is insisting that this has to be in two bills, that it's just too much in one bill. How would that fly in the House after you've already passed this?
Maria, it would be dead on arrival. Rubber has hit the pavement. The people and the president of the United States, they want action, Maria. We delivered out of the House the largest tax cut in U.S. history, the largest cut to mandatory spending of $1.69 trillion in U.S. history, the most significant welfare reforms in U.S. history, and also the largest one-time investment in border security.
Joining me now is Florida Congressman Byron Donalds. He's a member of the House Oversight and Financial Services Committee's Congressman. I want to get your thoughts on that. And just a reminder here that Ron Johnson is somebody that said that he wants to go back to 2019 spending levels. Maybe that's a fantasy at this point in the world that we're in. But the Wall Street Journal points out that, and this is kind of where the rift is with the senators, that GOP senators' competing demands risk pulling the Trump mega bill apart, writes the Wall Street Journal. And whether it's Medicaid or green tax credits, business deductions, there's a lot of senators with a lot of changes they want to make to your bill. Your reaction?
My reaction is that Republicans need to decide what we really want to do. Do we want to have the president's tax policy, which the House did pass, which is the best tax policy the nation's ever had, while also taking care of the future financial outlook of the country? And so we have competing interests, amongst senators, but we have competing interests amongst House members. Let's be clear. I got House members who sent a letter over to the Senate saying they wanted to weaken some of the provisions in the Green New Deal tax credits. They want them to go longer, not have them be shorter or eliminate them altogether. Here's the truth. We simply can't afford them. I have members of the House, along with members of the Senate, who don't want to go further with respect to actually reforming Medicaid so that the federal government actually has the right policy where we treat pregnant women, poor children, and poor senior citizens better than able-bodied adults. Currently, the United States treats able-bodied adults better than pregnant women. That is a fact. So I think that, I don't think we're going back to two bills. I agree with Jason Smith, but the reality is that if the Senate sends back a bill that cuts more money, that will be well received in the House by many members, probably except for about 14. And so this is the problem that we have. It's about the future financial outlook of America. That's what we got to put forward. That's what Ron John and Rand Paul and many others are arguing for. The president's tax policy is amazing tax policy. We're going to get all that stuff done. Well, but Republicans, both House and Senate, have a major question to ask themselves. What matters more, re-election prospects or the future fiscal outlook of the country?
Well, and that is the conversation that comes up as a backdrop to all of this, or a side note, whatever you want to call it, is that, if things don't go the way for some Republicans that are in vulnerable districts, think of Mike Lawler of New York, their point is that the Republicans are going to lose control of the House after the 2026 midterms. And, it obviously, say what you will about the CBO. There's a lot of debate about their estimates, but they're saying this would add $2.4 trillion to the deficit over a decade. Again, there's a lot of debate about that. But you mentioned something about Medicaid, and I want to ask you about this because Senator Rick Scott was on Fox News Sunday, and he points out Florida, your state, that Florida is among one of the 10 states that did not accept Medicaid for low-income childless able-bodied adults Remember, they gained coverage back in 2010 under the Affordable Care Act.
All right, Wu-Tang, enjoy your
Rick
shower.
Scott said, look, we didn't accept that because in Florida,
I love
we believe in
showers.
fiscal responsibility.
I tell you.
Senator Rick Scott,
Oh,
one of the
who
biggest
doesn't love
critics right
showers?
now of the big, beautiful bill. Your reaction?
Look, I agree with Senator Scott. In Florida, we did not expand Medicaid. And let's make sure we get the language correct.
Thank you,
What Barack
Wu-Tang.
Obama did is he expanded the welfare states.
Glad to see you
include
here,
able-bodied
too.
adults.
I appreciate it.
Those same able-bodied adults could have gotten
But enjoy that shower.
employer-provided health care coverage. And so what the whole plan of Obamacare was to bring single-payer health care to the United States. That was the plan. They didn't have the votes in the Senate to be able to do it. And frankly, we're not going to single-payer. But we've created a serious problem. In Florida, if you're an able-bodied adult, you are not on Medicaid. But in California, in New York, in Illinois, you are. So the question is, what is the better public policy? Is it taking care of poor women, pregnant women, poor kids, and actually favoring them? Or is it favoring able-bodied adults in Medicaid who can actually go to work? And I think that what we need to do is follow the Florida model. Frankly, the whole country should follow the Florida model. But we should follow the Florida model and say, listen, we are going to prioritize people who are truly in need when it comes to public services. That's what needs to happen. And it would save the United States close to $1 trillion over a decade.
What is the latest on your run for governor of Florida, and what is your vision for Florida?
Well, first of all, we have a great state. Governor DeSantis has done a tremendous job. And I was listening to your segment earlier about what's going on in California. There's a reason why something like that would never happen in our state. We've had great governors in our state. My mission is to continue that and make sure that we are a law and order state. We are the free state, but it's also about diversifying our economy, making Florida the financial hub of the world, making sure that children are proficient in core subject matter, that we change the metrics instead of just being at grade level, now being at proficiency. Those are the things that we're going to be looking at going forward.
I hope he becomes governor of Florida
if I'm successful in my race for governor. But we have the best state in the country, and we're not going to look back. We're going to continue to lead and continue to take Florida to higher heights.
As we move into a new week right now, before you go, Congressman, just a quick reaction from you. What is your message to your colleagues on the Senate side who are about to get into some very likely going to be some very contentious negotiations? And what is your message to Senator Thune right now, who's going to have to do what Mike Johnson did, and that, of course, is rally the troops?
My number one message is we got to cut spending. We just simply have to. And it's not just in the one beautiful bill. It's also in the appropriations packages. The president put out a budget earlier for discretionary spending. My read of it, it cuts about $163 billion. We need, in year one, we need to follow the president's lead. What Senator Johnson is talking about, going back to 2019 spending levels pre-COVID, that's not a pipe dream. We can do that. The problem is in Washington, frankly, the Democrats want to spend more money, and we're having a disagreement amongst Republicans. We need to cut as much spending as we can. Budget reconciliation is an opportunity to do that. And if you look at the Treasury bond yields, the thing that they charge us to borrow money, they're going up. And if the Treasury bond yields go up on the United States government, that means credit rates for businesses, for families, for individuals, they're going to go up as well. Everything is based on the 10-year. The 10-year going up is bad for Americans. It's bad for the working poor. Washington has to cut spending. So my message to the Senate, cut spending. Let's do the right thing. Let's do it now. And we'll win elections as a result.
Congressman Byron Donalds, always a pleasure to have you on the program. Come back anytime, sir. Thank you.
I definitely want him to win. He seems like a real good guy. Let's go to the next story. I got like 4 more to go, and then I'll be done. I'll come back later on this evening to continue the chaos.
To Elon Musk and Donald Trump, it looks like their relationship has ended. President Trump talked to ABC, and he said President Trump on Saturday said there would be serious consequences if tech mogul Elon Musk funds Democratic candidates to run against Republicans who vote in favor of the GOP's sweeping budget bill. Asked if he thought his relationship with the Tesla and SpaceX CEO was over, Trump said, I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah, there's also a story about what really happened when Scott Bessent and he clashed over who would run the IRS, and also about Doge and what they were doing at Treasury. And when they left the office, the story is that Musk tried to ram him like a rugby player as he was in the hall, and then Bessent hit him back, and Trump evidently said, this has got to stop. So there was definitely a scrum and yelling in the hall. I didn't know there was physical confrontation. Here's what Caroline Levitt said.
I certainly wouldn't describe it as a fist fight, Maria. It was definitely a disagreement. Although I was not there, I didn't witness it with my own eyes. I heard about it through secondhand reporting. But again, we've moved on from that. The president has moved on from it. And the entire administration is focusing on passing this bill. But also, Maria, cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from our government remains a critical component of this administration's agenda.
In my view, the thing that did it was not the criticism of the bill, which is not helpful, but the president will overcome that. When he said the Epstein thing and when he said the president should be impeached. Are you crazy? This is an hour after you got the key to the Oval Office, after he stood up to you with the controversial things you did. I know about the $280 million. No one begged you to do it. And Trump won elections without being wildly outraised. $1 billion didn't get Kamala Harris over the finish line, and $288 million didn't get President Trump the victory. It definitely helped. He's definitely an asset. I'm in awe of his intellect. But when he got personal like that, why would you expect Trump to say, okay, just tell him to call me and we'll forget it?
Well, the president is still furious about the whole situation. He has every right to be. But as I said last week on the couch, I believe that Elon Musk is going to come around. And you already saw it yesterday. He was retweeting the president when it came to California. He was retweeting the administration, Marco Rubio, as well as J.D. Vance yesterday about the response to what's happening in Los Angeles. And I think it goes all back to my original point. There's nowhere else to go, Elon. Either you're going to be with the party of crazy, which you just saw our first story of letting their city be on fire, or you're going to try to make this party better. There's a legitimate criticism when it comes to big, beautiful bill, but you just can't shut down the entire bill as a result.
We were all talking over the weekend, like, what do you think happened? What made him just flip his switch?
Well, they say Sergio Gore had a lot to do with it.
Do you think, though, I mean, he was on Joe Rogan's show smoking marijuana. Do you think he was microdosing? Do you think he was in a different place?
I don't want to project that, but I will say he's up with the thing that can put him over the top is when Sergio Gore, who's head of personnel, said this NASA guy, Mr. President, has given hundreds of thousands of dollars to Democratic causes, only gave you money after you won. He's going to have trouble getting through confirmation. And when they pulled the NASA guy out, who directly affects his business, and they need to work together, he said that was the last straw. Evidently, Sergio Gore and Elon Musk had this huge rivalry because he was dressed down. Musk dressed him down in front of people. He says, you're hiring people way too slow. Your vetting process is way too strict. You got to get people staffed. So that confrontation led to that confrontation, and that put him over the top.
But the bottom line, there's one commander-in-chief, and that's Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, and he has the support of the American people overwhelmingly in the last election.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest.
Back to the Trump's reaction to the anti-rape protest. So let's check this out. Yeah, fix it here.
California officials not to stand in the way of law and order.
Demonstrations and riots in L.A. are entering now their fourth day as the White House defends its immigration crackdown and sends in the National Guard. Doug Luzader in Washington, Governor Newsom saying that he is suing the Trump administration now.
That's right. It could wind up in court. We'll see how this all plays out. But the president is certainly taking a hardline stance over these riots, and he says this is all to protect those federal agents. Rioters pelted police with everything from fireworks to street signs, pinning them under an underpass for a time. Elsewhere, protesters clashed with federal officers and now hundreds of National Guard troops deployed by President Trump.
Well, we're going to have troops everywhere. We're not going to let this happen to our country.
The president on his way to Camp David as city officials blamed him for the unrest over recent immigration crackdowns.
What we're seeing in L.A. is chaos caused by the administration.
LA's mayor lashed out at Trump as the city's police chief described the threats his officers are facing.
They have a hammer and they'll break up the cinder block and use that, pass it around to throw it off.
I have formally requested the Trump administration rescind their unlawful deployment of troops in Los Angeles County and return them to my command. The Pentagon has said that Marines could be deployed, with the president saying he will not put up with violent protests.
When they spit at people, you know, they spit. That's their new thing. They spit, and worse, you know what they throw at them, right? And when that happens, I have a little statement. They say, they spit, we hit.
Get it fixed.
Okay, now not all of the troops that the president authorized have been deployed at this point, but of course, that could still change. Bob and Jen.
Right. In fact, lots of folks here in Southern California are wondering how long these National Guardsmen would be out here. This executive order says that it could be as many as 60 days.
Yeah, and as many as 2,000. And obviously, all of this could be changed. You know, the president can change this with a stroke of a pen, but that's how it's shaping up at the moment.
It all depends on what happens, I guess, today. There are several more protests that are planned for later on today. All right, Doug, thank you.
All right, let's check out this one here. This will be the last one. It's kind of like a live feed, but we'll check it out for a little bit, and then I'll go to a live, and then I'll be out of here because I want to go eat. I'm getting hungry. Let's check this one out. Chatting about some riot gear. Does this look peaceful? Now you know why Trump sent what he did over to California. Viewer discretion is advised. Very peaceful. This is live, okay? What? This is not pre-recorded. This is live. You're watching what they're doing right now, live from LA. How is this peaceful? They don't sound very they sound very organized. Who's controlling the narrative here? Who's calling that?
Hands together.
Sound like an old person.
Órale. With the water.
All right, I think I'm gonna run for a little bit, and then I gotta get going. Alright, I'm gonna wrap it up because this is it's gonna be going on for a while. So let's stop it here and wrap it up. It was a good show. pretty wild. What's going on with society? Not good at the moment. Things are getting a little crazy. I'll be back on later this afternoon to talk more about it. Just because it's going to be just wild. I'm just saying it's going to be wild. It's going to be more wilder, and they need to send in the Marines. With that said, is my mind over your matter. And have a good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're at. And I'll be back on later to cover the crazy story for tonight. Peace for now.